But when I was working for those companies, I was saying, oh, no, I will climb the ladder. I will be the vice president of Johnson & Johnson sometime, etc. But to be honest, I prefer to be at my position now than to climb this ladder.
All right, welcome to another episode of Life Sciences 360. And my guest today is Monir El Azzouzi. He is the CEO and founder of Easy Medical Device, a company that helps medical device companies with quality assurance and reg affairs consulting. Welcome to the show, Monir.
Well, thank you, Harsh, and thanks for inviting me to this to the podcast. I mean, it's been a long time that I'm following you also, so I'm really happy to be part of this podcast.
Yeah, so I don't like taking things easy, so I'm going to try to put you on the spot with the first question that I have. When I started creating content last year on LinkedIn, I wanted to look at people in life sciences industry who had a very strong personal brand, who were creating a lot of valuable content. And I asked people for the 5 names, and your name kept popping up from a lot of different people in the industry as somebody who's been doing it for a long time. So I want to ask you, who are your 3 favorite LinkedIn creators?
So one is Mitch Robbins. Mm-hmm. I think he's from the US. He's a HR guy specialized in the medical device field. What I like is his creativity to try to attract eyeballs, if I can say, on his post. And he's really, I like the videos that he's making sometime also. So I really appreciate that. He makes also some good articles. I even contacted him to do maybe something together. Mm-hmm. But I really like his way of talking and doing. So it's really a great one there.
Okay.
The second one is Karandeep Badwal. He's also making a lot of content on LinkedIn. He was part even of the LinkedIn program for growth or something like that. I can't remember the name.
Yep.
So he was then given also a lot of courses on how to do things on LinkedIn, and I see had a good effect also on his videos. So he makes some short videos sometimes. He makes a lot of big posts also explaining things. So he's also showing where he goes on holidays, which is not something that I'm doing a lot. But it's I like really Karandeep. And we have a lot of things that we are working together. There is one that is really interesting, which is Sean Smith, if I remember.
Sean Smith, yeah.
From the MLV, Medical Device Leading Voices.
Yep.
It's really recent that I follow him, but he has really focused himself on this as a creator, online marketing creator. And he gathered in a few months or weeks, a few weeks more mainly, the leading voices for medical devices. He was able to also show, put them also on spot, if I can say, on some of his posts, also having this newsletter. So for me, it's a performance to do that. It's also somebody that I really recommend people to follow.
Yeah, I've been following all 3 people right there, and I'm not surprised that you mentioned all 3 of them. They've been consistently, at least for the last year that I've been active on LinkedIn, pretty much every day or every week, I've seen them on my feed. So yeah, that's a great top 3 there. I know you are very active on LinkedIn, posting, interacting, engaging with people. What's an interesting thing that you read this week? Anything you want to share?
This week, this week there was, it was in the weekend, so last week maybe, but I didn't read that during the weekend. I said, okay, let's wait on Monday when we start back to read about that. So there was the announcement of the UK extension. So maybe it's not too big for you, but for us, it's something that everybody was waiting for. So you know that UK left Europe, so there is a Brexit, and they are trying now to transition to their new legislation, which is not CE marking, but UKCA marking. And they started to announce that by the 30th of June 2023, everybody after that date should be following the UKCA. But there was this question mark to say, yes, but we want maybe to extend that. And the announcement will be done before the 30th of June 2023. So closer we arrived to the 30th of June 2023, closer. Then I had a lot of messages from my customers that are asking me, Monir, what are we doing? Because if they don't make the announcement, it means that by the 1st of July, we have all to follow UKCA, which is not what they are doing at all. I said, no, don't worry. I heard that they will do that. So, and we're expecting that. Now it's done. They made this announcement, and a relief for a lot of companies that are now selling in the UK. And they have followed what EU has done also for their extension, which means that now you can be CE marked in the UK until 2030. So you have still some time now to to sell your products in the UK with CE marking without being UKCA.
Interesting. Yeah, I only know about the CE marking because I've seen some medical devices and certain equipments and stuff working in the industry, but I don't follow medical device content that much. So thanks for going over that. I know this is a common path for a lot of people in the industry. At some point, everyone goes out and either starts their consulting venture or they end up starting a completely different business, building a software or a product. What made you start Easy Medical Device?
So Easy Medical Device, for those that don't know, at the beginning it was 2018, if I remember. It was just a blog. It was nothing else than a blog. I was working for Johnson & Johnson in Switzerland, and I had some people that asking me, because I was also on LinkedIn, so I was contacting, had also a big network on LinkedIn, and people were asking me, can you tell us how to certify a medical device? What is the classification of medical device? What is a medical device? I mean, basic questions. So at the end, I created a blog talking about that, and I called it Easy Medical Device to show to people that it's easy. It's not like something difficult. So I made it like you make a big thing of something that is small, because for me, it's really small, but I understand now that for people, it can be a big thing. So my objective was to make it easy for everybody. So if you go to my blog, for example, I try to use some easy language. I'm not trying to put a lot of clauses of ISO or this and that. I mean, I try to make it really accessible to everyone to understand, because I know that the people that will be reading or listening these things will not be professionals, maybe. I mean, I had the criticism at the beginning because when I started that, I had some big professionals or whatever when they were qualifying my blog like, it's just for beginners, etc. So you can just go there if you are beginners. But my audience were beginners, so it's good. So it was but it was also, they were also criticizing me, say, he's making that just for beginners, so he's not an expert, he doesn't know what is, I mean, he knows the basics, but he doesn't know the things, etc. So, but I said, it's fine, let's move forward. I'm not talking to those people, I'm talking really to beginners, so let's really work with those beginners. And slowly, it gets some tractions. I'm following also a lot of online marketers, like Gary Vaynerchuk, or like all the others that were working at that time. So when I was commuting from home to work or work to home, I was always listening to those podcasts that they were doing or the things that they were doing. So how to be an online marketer, how to market your blog, etc. Because I wanted my blog to be growing also. And as soon as I get attraction on the blog, then Gary Vaynerchuk said, you have to go to videos. So I said, okay, let's go to videos. So I created my YouTube channel. Then Gary says, audio will be great because you have also Alexa and this and that. So people will now say, can you make me the podcast of Easy Medical Device on Alexa? And then it will pop up. So you have also to go to audio, etc. Right. So I followed his, if I can say, advices, and I created my blog, video, audio, etc. And then it gets more and more tractions. And then people are starting to ask me, can I make consultation for them, etc. I said, no, I cannot, because I work for Johnson & Johnson, so I have a contract with them. I cannot do both things, etc. So after receiving 10 or 20 times the same question, I said, okay, maybe I should think about it, making consulting about that, because if they ask me, it means that there is nobody else that can help them, or I'm not sure exactly. And there was, as I said, sometimes there are some signs that are coming. So the factory that I was working for Johnson & Johnson was acquired by another entity. And this entity was not a medical device company specifically, but they were trying to get to that. So I decided to say, okay, maybe it's the time for me to move out of this. So then I decided to completely quit Johnson & Johnson. And I said, okay, I have Easy Medical Device, and the people are asking me for consultant jobs. So I said, why not? Let's move to that, and let's see. The most difficult person to convince on that was my wife, but nobody else. Just to say to her that I jump a good job, well paid, etc., for something where we don't know. It's like jumping somewhere where I have no clue where we are.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't think I've met anyone yet in life sciences. I know other people in other industries, but in life sciences, I have not met anyone that first started creating content and then started consulting. Usually people start consulting and content at the same time because they're consulting and they want content to bring them more business. At least that's why I started creating content when I was working prior to last year. I was interacting with people on LinkedIn, but I wasn't posting stuff because I was an employee. I couldn't say what I want, or if I said something wrong, HR would tell me, "Hey, why did you say that?"
Exactly.
So
But just one thing for me. So initially I started to do those blog content, etc. It was not for consulting purposes, it was for personal branding purposes.
right.
The objective for me was also to grow within my company, to show to my company that I'm a person that is also influencing or can get some knowledge or can participate to some conferences and be a speaker to conferences. So the idea for me was to grow my personal branding. Well, it has nothing to do with consulting. It was really at Johnson, because at Johnson & Johnson, sometimes I was doing some conferences. I was going to speak to some conferences. So I said, okay, I need really to grow this personal branding, to not be afraid to speak in public, to be able to, because we have also this issue about the imposter syndrome, to say that what I will be saying, maybe somebody will criticize that. What I will be saying, maybe somebody will stop and say, oh, this is a crappy guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, etc. So there was all those things fears that I had to overcome. And I said, okay, let's do this personal branding. Let's make a blog post. And to be honest, the first time I launched my blog post, it was like, maybe I will receive a lot of bad comments. Maybe I will receive a lot of criticism. Maybe I will receive nothing happened. So it's great. So let's move forward. Second blog, third blog, fourth blog. And this is how I build my confidence first to do that. And this is, as I said at the beginning, nothing to do with consulting. I was thinking of doing consulting when I was young, when I was started. I said, oh, I will be a consultant, etc. But when I was working for those companies, I was saying, oh, no, I will climb the ladder. I will be the vice president of Johnson & Johnson sometime, etc. But to be honest, I prefer to be at my position now than to climb this ladder that I quitted.
I don't blame you. Yeah. When was the first blog post that you wrote? What year?
2018, beginning of 2018. Because when I started, just the funny story is that I didn't start with Easy Medical Device. I started with another, because as I was learning personal branding, I was thinking I need first to learn marketing, online marketing, to market my blog, etc. But then I was also thinking I need to be able to sell something. So I created the e-commerce shop, and I created a lot of blogs. Oh, this e-commerce was a yoga e-commerce shop or something like that, where I tried to sell some things. It was just a drop shipping selling. And I was learning to do that. I said, if I'm able to sell one thing with my blog and everything, then I'm ready. I can do Easy Medical Device and I can move forward with things. I sold one thing, which was a watch cover or something like that. And I said, okay, now I'm done. I've done it. It's great.
Yeah, it works. I did something similar. It was probably like 2019. I was in Seattle at the time, and maybe friends or people who know me back then would know this, but so I started an online store selling. So I have two pugs. Have you heard of the breed pugs? Those are the small, like fluffy dogs with like the face. Yeah. So I have a black one and a fawn one. So I had this idea like, hey, I'm going to start creating merchandise for other owners of that breed. And then anybody in US who has a pug or, anything, they would like this merchandise. So t-shirts, hat, cups, whatever, everything. I found an online store, a drop shipping. I worked with the designer, made all the designs, created a Shopify store. And I said, okay, what I'll do is any money I make from this, 10% of that, I'll donate it to a local pug rescue. So I contacted Seattle Pug Rescue and said, hey, I want to, I'm putting this on the website. If I make any money, I'll donate it to you. So I think the first 6 months I made $300, which is very embarrassing, but I had a job that time, so I'm fine. But the big day for me in that business was the Seattle Pug Rescue. They called me and said, oh, it's really great that you're doing this, and we're hosting this event, outdoor event in the summer, where we're going to have a lot of vendors come in. And everyone's selling, some people are selling pug stuff or other stuff. It's $100 or something. It was like $100 to sign up, and you can bring your merchandise there and maybe people will buy it. So I was like, that sounds great. I had like 3 or 4 of each things. Like I had 4 hoodies, 4 caps, 4 everything. So I ordered everything in advance. I was like, I'm either going to lose a few $1,000s and make a fool of myself, or I'll sell something. So I went to that event with my wife. I put a banner and she supported me. I went even with my dogs to that event. And I don't know exactly the number, but it was close to $1,000 in sales that I just did on that day at that event. And I was like, okay, I I had fun. It was 6 months and I just shut the store down but it taught me so much, right? It taught me just understanding online, reading blogs, the design skills, the doing stuff in Canva that now I use for creating content.
And this is exactly what the purpose of that is, as I said, to give confidence, to learn. And as you said, if you have not done that, maybe you will still maybe work somewhere else or do something else. So the point is that at a certain point, you have to jump. And I know it's scary. You don't know what will happen on the other side. Nobody knows. But to be honest, the reward is really high if you are motivated, if you know really what you are doing. So you can really make a lot of fun, as you said, and also a career on that.
Yeah, agreed. Thankfully, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not selling dog merchandise, but I had fun when I did it. So what is it that you love about, I love being a consultant. There are some days I wish that I wasn't, just because how things go up and down. What is it that you love about consulting, and is there something that you don't like?
What I love on consulting is the teaching part, to teach people, explain, find things. The strategy part, I have some companies that are calling me and asking me and exposing their case, their products, and then they ask me, oh, should we do this, should we do that, etc. So then telling them, it's like a maze, and what is the exit, what are the different exits, and if you want that, here is the exit, if you want that. So I guide them through this maze and try to make that happen. The part that I don't like too much, or that I'm trying to subcontract to my people mainly, is the creation of the documentation mainly. Because I have done that all my career. I have created documents all my career. It's the same thing. And as soon as something starts to be repetitive or boring, or this, that, okay, I have done it 100 times, I don't want to do it 101 time, etc. So then I always try to learn myself how to do things. Then I teach that to somebody else so he can do it for me. So then this is the idea. And then I can concentrate to something else that I can work on or do my stuff. But yeah, helping people, teaching people is really the thing I like to do. Doing the work of processing of this and that is not my thing. But I'm always here to help my team and to work with them on when there is something blocking. But my objective is to teach them and to transfer to them some of those activities that I don't like to do anymore.
Great. How big is your team? Like you also do consulting in addition to other consultants? Exactly.
Yeah. So okay. I'm sometimes having so I am the only one on my team that now we have two more people. I was the only one that was speaking French, for example. So any French customer was with me. So I had to do everything from A to Z. So this is the part where I would really like to have somebody speaking French because we have some French customers. So now I have some people from my team that speak French. Now I'm teaching them, so they are learning. But we are around 10 people working as a fixed, if I can say, consultants. But we have also some freelancers that we are bringing to projects when needed. When they need a specific clinical evaluation report, for example, I have some people that are specialized in that, some experts. So each time I show them the case and say, yes, we can do it, and then they do it. But sometimes there is no case at all to show. So then they are doing some other gigs or working on other things. We have this team that I have built, because at the beginning when I started, I thought to myself, I will be my own boss and I do myself everything, etc. But to be honest, I have only 24 hours and I need to sleep also. I need to eat. I need to do also I have a family with 3 kids. So it's like I don't have all time.
Wow.
As a lot of people were starting to contact me, I was thinking, how can I divide myself on multiple and helping more people? And the only solution I find is I need more people on my team to come to help me and to maybe take also some of the activities. Then I can really help more customers.
Great. Yeah, I mean, at some point you can't do it solo. Like I started last year just doing it by myself, but now I have a small team, 4 people, or I think 5 if you count me. So yeah, 5 people. But yeah, I also look to subcontract sometimes, or not even subcontract. It's just like picking somebody's brain, right? So yeah, exactly. I'm not giving them a project, but I could contact anybody on LinkedIn and I could say, hey, I'm working with so-and-so client. I just need your help just for this one document. I will send you this document, or, whatever it is, or just come to the Zoom call and tell me what you would do here. And I will just pay you for the 1 or 2 hours, right? It's not always like giving somebody a project, but I like to use the network.
Exactly. And what is important here is also the fact that you have a network. And this is mainly the point where you are not alone and you have a network, and you can ask some people to help you on this thing or that things, and they can also help you with some customers that. And the objective for that, having this network, is also important, because customers, what they want also is that, I have some customers that are coming to me and say, oh, can you help me for this activity for regulatory? I say yes. Oh, but we need also to do some tests in the laboratory, so we have to find a laboratory. And I say to them, oh, I know laboratories. Can I help you to choose the right one? Oh, you know laboratories? Yeah. Oh, I need also a firmware developer. Oh, I know a firmware developer. Can I help you on that also? So you see, the idea is to say, I'm not the one who will be doing the testing laboratory. I'm not the one who will be doing the firmware development or whatever. But I know people that do that because I have a network. And then people come to me because I can help them instead of them chasing people one by one. I know I have my network and I can tell them, take this guy and take this guy and take this guy and take this guy. So I build their team, and then we can work and more quickly with this customer.
Yeah, that's really, really important. Even for like full-time roles. I have had clients sometimes tell me like, hey, we're hiring a director of IT and we have interviewed 15 people, but we cannot find anyone. Or if we find somebody, they want to be remote, but we want them on site. Can you just ask in your network, or do you know anyone in your network, right? So it's not always consulting or extra work. I've even like given names of people who have got a full-time job with one of my clients because I just mentioned their name. And I knew they were looking because they texted me and said, hey, I'm not having fun in my job. I'm looking for something else. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. All I did was mention, I don't take anything from the client. It's not like I'm a recruiter who's trying to take, it's just out of courtesy, like, hey, this is a person that could be a good fit.
But they will remember you as a person that has a network, and they'll contact you next time for something else, etc. And this can give you also some opportunity. So the idea here is that I call it, I have one of my partners that is more like, oh no, I don't like that. I call it the power of free.
Yeah.
So mainly I give free advices. I give my contacts. I give things. Oh, it's all for free. I'm not taking money, as I said, for that. But the idea for that is that I will be like personal branding also. I will be recognized as a connector. So somebody that you should come to me to connect you to something else. And maybe this will also give me, as a connector, the opportunities to do some job, do some work, do something, and then also make some living out of that. So this is mainly the idea of being recognized as a connector, and only that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So I don't know if you've come across this situation working in the industry, but a lot of times when I work with people on projects, if they tend to have a lot more experience than me, in some cases, they have as much experience as the number of years I've been alive because they've had work that long. And sometimes you don't always agree on topics when you're recommending to clients. So the question I want to ask you is there something that you disagree that most other people in the industry would agree with that approach?
In terms of disagreement, what do you mean when I talk to a no?
Yeah. So like let's say let's just say there are 10 consultants in medical device consulting, and they all feel here's one way to do X. Is Monir think no, that's not the one way. You should be doing Y or Z or whatever. Yeah.
So in that case, for me, first I'm the last to speak in a room. Mm-hmm. I'm not the first to speak, because I want to hear the opinion of everybody, because the point is that if you start to jump immediately, say, no, I disagree, etc., you say, oh, you didn't hear all the story, you don't have all the cases.
Right.
I'm young also, so I'm feeling young, so it's mainly I didn't experience everything also. So maybe there is a special case, and I fall on some of those traps where I said, no, but when I hear the case, in that case, specifically, yes, etc. So there are some cases where speak last, just wait, listen to everything. And sometime at the end, they will ask you, oh, Monir, what do you think about that, etc. So this is the idea mainly of that. But to be honest, I'm not impressed by somebody that will be speaking first and will be kind of arguing on this and that, because I will come with counter arguments, but always politely. I will maybe not change his mind or whatever, but I have my own opinion. I have my own experience, but I'm always happy to learn from others and to tell them, okay, I hear you. I'm not agreeing with you, but try to convince me. What is your arguments? What is the things? Did you have this experience, etc.? So I try to get that. And maybe if he provides a right example, etc., I will have maybe my mind changed, or I will maybe have some kind of middle compromise on it. Why I'm saying that is because in the medical device field, you have wheelchairs, you have pacemakers, you have MRI machines, you have implants, you have syringes, you have combination you have so many varieties that this cannot fit everything. So at the end, each thing has its own argumentation. I was with a customer just before our recording here, where he gave me I call it an exotic case. It's called the gray area, where everywhere where you are looking, you say, I don't know, because it's really exotic case.
Yeah.
So at the end, it's like, I can agree on this if I have this argument, but I can also agree on that if I have this argument. So at the end, but I always try to give the best case, the best solution. For example, one of these customers was, is my product a medical device or not a medical device? I say, it's really in the borderline. My advice is make it a class 1 medical device, which is self-declaration, which is like the lowest classification possible with the lowest requirement possible. And you are on the safe side, because if you are not, nobody will complain. But if you are, then you are on the safe side with the class 1 because you have already started to work on that. So I don't have a final answer to that, because I already told them, even if you go to some competent authorities, I'm sure they will say, I have no clue if this is or not a medical device. Or they they will guide you to some guidances, say, read this and guess it by yourself or whatever, this kind of thing. So it's why at the end I try to always to provide some best case and tell always to the customers what is the worst case. What can happen if somebody finds it or is not agreeing? I say, if they are not agreeing, you have already worked with your quality management system, your technical file, with everything. Now you just need to contact a notified body because maybe it's a class 2A instead of a class 1. The way to arrive there is shorter than if you decide, oh no, it's not a medical device, so I have no quality management system, no technical file, nothing. And now if an authority says, no, you are a medical device class 2A, then you have to make a big jump to arrive there. So I try to give them some advice.
Right.
I always make some cautions and disclaimer warning to say, I don't have all the information because it was a 30-minute call. I don't have all the information, but here is my advice.
Interesting. Yeah, you like you said, medical device is pretty interesting because there are so many things that I never thought would be classified as a medical device.
Exactly.
But then I talk to people and they're like, nope, this is a medical device. And
exactly. For example, one thing, I'm doing a course on EU MDR on the medical device regulation. And I give one example. So I have this presentation where I give a picture of products and I tell the people just to show to them that it's really difficult. I tell you, is it a medical device or not? And if it's not a medical device, what is it? And some people say, yes, it's a medical device. Some others say, no, it's not a medical device. I say, you see, just by showing the picture, you are not sure. So it's really difficult. It's not like an easy point. And I show them this anti-acid solution. And I say, is it a medical device? It's a solution, you are drinking it, etc. So it's to avoid some stomach things. So is it a medical device? And they say, some say, no, it's a drug. I said, I never told you there was any active ingredient inside. It's just a buffer. Because your stomach is acid, I put some buffer to make it more alkaline, so to remove the acidity. There is no active ingredient in it. And on the legislation, I show them that yes, it's a medical device as long as there is no active ingredient, as long as it stays on the stomach, it doesn't go further, etc., etc. So yes, it acts on the upper part of the stomach, then yes, it's a medical device. So this is always the thing where, yes, you can see the thing from all the different sides. And yeah, if you see it from that side, it's not a medical device, but if you see it from the other side, it's a medical device. So this part that I also like, is the fact that it's so diverse that you can make some mistakes. And I know that even me, I made a lot of mistakes, but it's the point to say the mistake is possible. So listen to the others, listen to people that have maybe some experience, because they can teach you something. So never say, oh, I know I'm the one who knows, etc. No, listen and try to understand this.
Yeah. Very, very true about that. I know that, just by following you, I know you're sharing a lot of stuff on a lot of content on LinkedIn. And most of the times I've seen your content, it's very like it's either a new guidance or a notification or something that came out from the regulations. How do you have a team that tracks all this information? Do you use any software? Do you go to any blogs? Can you share any resources for the audience if they just want to know how you go about it?
So the first way is on LinkedIn to follow all the people that are also sharing those information, because then I receive this information and I say, okay, now I can share it to my audience. The thing also, sometimes I think to myself, oh, this information was already shared 3 days ago. Nobody wants to hear about that anymore. But I say, oh, let's show it to people. And then I receive a lot of likes or comments or this and that, because the people that I'm following, maybe my people are not following them. So they don't know that they exist. They don't know what they are sharing, etc. So the idea is that, yes, follow those people. If there are something interesting that they are sharing, then you share it again and share to your audience, because you have your own audience and maybe they are not the same people also. So this is number one. Number two is I'm using a tool called MedBoard, and I'm promoting also that tool on my podcast. MedBoard is I call it the Google of medical devices. So I go inside and it shows me all the new updates in all over the world on medical devices. So then I select Europe or I select US or whatever, and then I find all the information and I say, oh, this is interesting. Let's share that with people, etc. I decided recently that we are starting now to make a regulatory update email, a newsletter, if I can say, to my customers, because I'm also an authorized representative in UK, Switzerland, and Europe. The idea was to make a newsletter for my customers in UK, Switzerland, and Europe. So when there is a UK change, then we are sending them an email with all the changes that are happening this month in UK, for Europe, for Switzerland, etc. So the idea is also to provide more and more information so that they can be ready. Because if they know the regulation, if they are applying the regulation, I have, as an authorized representative, less risk to have some issues with them on the market. So it's why let's educate them so that they are ready, so that I'm not on the back and say, oh, there was an issue on the market because they didn't follow this rule or that rule. But no, I told them, they know about that. So then I'm also reducing my risk by doing that. So it's not just a marketing thing, it's also education to reduce my risk there. But yeah, networking, using some tools like MedBoard can help you to then be knowledgeable. MedBoard is really a great tool because you can select also yourself. You make your own research, like a Google Alert or Google Alerts. And so you make your criteria and say, for example, you want to have all the information about your type of devices in Europe with the incidents or recalls or things that are happening there. So that you receive an email to say, oh, we got an information about that. And then you can yourself make the assessment if this is important or not. You can or you say, no, it's not relevant at all. So then you are moving to the next topic there.
Yeah, definitely. We'll add the link to that in the show notes of the episode. I've also sometimes struggled trying to keep all this information from different sources. So you mentioned about the newsletter. Do you have do you write everything, or do you have some people on your team that are writers who help you with writing content?
Since the last 4 years, I'm doing everything myself. This year, I hired somebody to do my podcast edition, video plus images, etc. But I have some people that are writing some blogs for me from my team, because they said, "Oh, Monir, I have a blog post. Can we share that with the people?" I say, "Yes, let's put it on the website." But all the rest, I am writing that myself. Now I'm hiring some people from my team that are also Arabic speakers that are translating from English to Arabic, because the idea is also to reach the Middle East area, to have also some support to the people that are maybe not speaking English and not understanding everything. So I say, okay, let's maybe translate all that in Arabic. So I'm now creating an Arabic section on my blogs that people can go to check that. So yeah, I start to have some people that are working on that for me, but everything I'm doing myself. We have, for example, a monthly episode, which is a regulatory update monthly for medical devices. Every first Tuesday or Wednesday, because sometimes it takes a lot of time. So Wednesday of the week, of the first of the month, the first Wednesday of the month, I am providing this episode where I am looking at all the last month and the following and the events that will come this month. What happened? So I read all the elements, I summarize them, and then I present them like a journal. So you can see that maybe on my videos, like a journal showing that here is what happened, here is the document, and you can find the link on the show notes, etc. So this I'm doing all myself also. So it's a lot of work, but to be honest, yeah, at the end it's really providing me a lot of value also, and eyeballs also, because the idea is also to get some eyeballs that people are looking at that and then hiring my company to help them for anything related to quality and regulatory affairs.
Yep, that's pretty much how most of the times it works when you're just sharing stuff. So it's crazy that you're doing all this by yourself. I've been doing so far a lot of it myself, but I'm getting to a point where now I seriously need to think. Like you said at that start of the episode, right? My hour a year ago was worth X, but
Exactly.
it's worth today something lot more, right? So I
Exactly.
cannot be, as a owner or as a consultant, I cannot be spending time on doing content or whatever it is, but it's hard. I have to train people. I have to tell them. There's a lot of, this,
Yeah.
listening to other creators and understanding what words to write, what makes people click. Like it's a serious science.
Exactly.
I know there's Chat GPT and all these tools, but that's why you copy paste content from there. You don't get the same results. But when you look at the words, you understand what's the feeling behind the word, right? If I say, oh, save $2 or whatever, but if I say, here's an incredible deal, the word incredible gives you like a feeling like you're saving something, right?
Best, incredible, awesome, etc. All those things. Yeah. But one thing that is also important is that when you are listening to all those online marketers, they are talking about millions of likes, talking about content, etc. We just have to remember that we are in a niche field. So it's not like we are in the consumable area where people will consume our content like with millions of views or whatever. If I get 500 views on my video, I'm like, wow, I get 500 views on my video. It's awesome. So because I mean, it's a small industry. It's a small thing. It's not like we are talking about Coca-Cola or Pepsi or like those Tesla automotive or whatever. No, we are talking about medical devices, which is not like a sexy topic. Nobody will talk about that just for fun or whatever, or make some entertainment about that. So this is the idea also, that you have to go back to the ground and say, guys, it's a small niche. We are not talking about millions of views. But if you have one employee of this company that is seeing you, then he can give your name to his boss or the other boss or people to say, oh, I know a consultant that can help us on this and that. Let's work on it. Let's work on that. So this is mainly the objective. So you have to pick eyeballs per eyeballs just to have maybe somebody, maybe in 1 year, maybe in 2 years, maybe 3 years. I had this morning somebody that says, I'm a silent follower of you. Recently, I got a request from my boss about this and that. And I asked him, oh, I know somebody that can help us to update their procedures about post-marketing services, etc. And this is a big company, a big giant company that contacted me. So I said, wow, it's like a big company that contacted me. And a small person, a person there says, oh, I follow you and I know you. I say, wow. So it's why it's something that will take time. It's not an overnight success that you have on this kind of thing. So it will be, I mean, now I'm doing that since 4 years. So it's not like something that, if I start again, it will be really painful again, because at the beginning it's really painful.
Yeah, it is. It is. The first few months is very hard. I remember. Now I'm slowly out of that phase, but it's still, the compounding and the daily putting it out. Like when you see the momentum and you see the results, anything in business or in life, success, or if you're playing a sport or whatever it is, it's all about momentum. When you're getting the results, it's almost like even if you want to stop, you cannot, because you know how hard it is to get to that level where now every time you post something, X number of people are going to see that. So then you can start strategically, deciding what to post, when to post.
Exactly.
And then now it's just a game, because you know what's happening there.
Exactly. You say it well. It's just a game, but remember that you should like this game also, because you maybe continue to do that for the next 5 or 6 years, 10 years maybe. And so if you do something that you don't like, maybe it's not really done for you. So you have really to find something else. So I like what I'm doing. As I said, the things I don't like, I try to subcontract that to some people so that they can do it for me. But I like what I'm doing. I like when I have some people, and I really like to receive also those messages from people that says, oh, because of you, I find this job, or because of you or the content that you provide, I was able to pass this audit, or because of what you have said, my boss gave me a promotion, etc., because I was the most smarter in the room, because I knew what you were talking about, etc. So all those messages gives me like pride and motivation also to say, oh, continue what you are doing, because really it helps people on the other side.
Right. Man, I love you. I love your energy, man. It's contagious. You are just like full of energy. You have amazing content. I want to, I know we're up on time. I want to close this out. Anyone listening to this episode, that's new to medical device industry, wants to get in, or is in the first year just starting out in the industry? What advice do you have for them?
So first advice, as I've told you, the idea is follow all the people that are in this industry, myself or Karandip or anybody that we talked about. Follow them because mainly they already are in the front of the line, if I can say, trying to get the information so that they can send that to you and then you can learn from it directly. So learning is fine. It is really the first step. Second step is try to also search for information that you can share with people, because then you are starting also to make your network, people will follow you, have eyeballs on you and know what you are doing. And then the idea is also to get trained. The idea is mainly, or you are a do-it-yourself or a self-learner, and then you can go and read the regulation and understand, etc. Or you are participating to some trainings where you can get some acceleration of this, and then you can also get the right vocabulary, languages, etc. Because the idea is when you are going to get hired for a job, they will ask you those questions. Do you know about EUMDR? Do you know about the new legislation that's happening? Oh, did you know about this and that? If you have no clue what they are talking about, you'll not get hired at all. So you'll not be able to answer. So the idea is more about build your self-confidence, get as much information as possible, learn as much as possible, and provide the right vocabulary or right languages to the people so that they are confident. And the point is, by doing that, I can say you can maybe fake it to make it, if I can say it. So it can be like that. But the idea is also when you will be hired, even if you're hired, it's like learn, continue to learn, continue to understand. Because maybe you will be, even with the small information that you have, you are maybe smarter than everybody in the room. Because mainly nobody is following or me or any other creators of content for that. So maybe they have no clue what we are talking about. So they are all expecting you to find the information, to educate, and to tell what to do on that, and maybe to hire some consultant that you know to help you also make the job correctly. So the idea is step by step arriving to this field, but don't jump directly to the field without having made all those steps there.
Yeah, those are really good steps, and I know what you mean. It's not. I mean, it's kind of like fake it till you make it, but it's more like always being ready, right? Because you don't know when the opportunity will come, right? I cannot sit here and speculate if I'm going to get a client message a week from now asking about my thoughts on EUMD or whatever regulation came out. But if I just read that over the weekend and then next week the client says, hey, I'm looking for some help. Did you know about this? I don't have to then wait 5 hours to respond to the client to try to read, because that's a desperation move, right? I'm doing out of desperation because I didn't keep up with that. So it's more about just being ready, because opportunity can come anytime.
Exactly. And I had some exercises also, because I have a lot of people that contacts me on LinkedIn. So if you want to contact me, you can go on LinkedIn. I have a lot of people that contacts me and says, oh, how can I enter this field? How can I do this? So we have made even some episodes on my podcast with Karandip also talking about that, how you can make it, etc. But one thing that I was also doing with some people, because they contact me and say, oh, give me some tips. I have an interview on Monday. What can I do, etc. So sometimes I jump on the call with them. It takes maybe 30 minutes or so. So just to talk to them and say to them, okay, do you know about this? Do you know about that? Say, no, I don't know about that, etc. So I tell them, okay, if they ask you this question during the interview, what will you answer to them? And they say, oh, I don't know exactly. So I said, okay, you have to read that, or you have to look at that. And then it's their choice, if I can say. If they are really motivated, they will read, they will understand, and they will move forward. And I'm always happy on Tuesday when I got a call and say, oh, I got the job because all the questions that you asked me to look at is exactly, and they were astonished to say, oh, you know about that? But it was published last week. How do you know about that? I mean, they were able to answer the question. And this is mainly the case where, as I said to you, the person was motivated. I didn't answer to her a question. I just told her what to look for. And then the result was she got the job. So it's just as easy as that. I mean, not easy, but it's also the opportunity for just follow people, learn, and get the right knowledge, and you will see that people that will ask your questions during the interview, they will be surprised. Oh, they know about this, they know about that, they know where to look for. And this is also the case. Maybe you don't know the information, but you can say, I don't know the information, but I know that it's this on this document, on that thing, etc. So I can look for it and I can tell you exactly. So it's also a good answer. No need to be the smartest guy in the room. You just say, I know where to find the information.
Yep. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time, for coming to the show. Like I said, I just love your approach on leveraging social media, leveraging the platforms and consulting and medical device. Before we wrap this up, any final thoughts and where can people connect with you or contact you?
Yeah, so my final thoughts is mainly that be happy, do what you want to do, try not to follow others. And if people are listening to us, maybe we are already at the level 5 or 6 or 7 of our journey. Maybe you are just at level 1. So don't compare to anybody. You are on your own journey. So go through it without being jealous of anyone that has more views or more things or more that. No, you are on your own journey. The best moment to start was yesterday or today, so start it now. So don't look back and say, oh, I should have started last year or whatever. No, start now and don't stop. Just move forward. For people that want to follow me, so as I said, you can go to easymedicaldevice.com. You have all my content there. There is my YouTube channel, so Easy Medical Device also, so that you can see all my videos that I'm doing. The podcast also that we are doing there. On LinkedIn is the best place to contact me and to ping me and to send me messages. I'm trying to answer to every messages, so don't hesitate to contact me if you have any question or whatever. I'm also doing, as I said to you, some 30 minutes call with people. So tell me and I will send you a link and then you can spot when I have some free time so that you can place a meeting there and we can answer any of your questions there. So yeah, the idea is to be able to help you as much as possible, because I know that what you are doing is really important, that people that are working in this industry are helping people for the healthcare system and everything. And one of the things that I'm always saying to people is I have a motto, which is, would I give these products to one member of my family? So the idea is mainly when I have some questions of this product, is it a good product or bad product, whatever, I say, would I give this product to a member of my family? And if I love my family, I hope it's the case, then I say, no, I will not give it to them because it's dangerous, it can kill them. If it was my son on the table, on the surgery table, will this knee implant will be fine for him? Yes or no? And this is mainly the thing that makes me also take some decisions sometimes. So you have also to remember that we are in the healthcare industry. At the end, there is my wife, there is my father, mother, a son, etc. that can be in this situation. So then take the right decision after that.
Yep. Well said, man. Thank you so much and wish you all the best with health and business and LinkedIn and everything that you're doing. It was really great having you on. Thank you.
Thank you, Arsha. I really appreciate it. And hopefully this will be helping a lot of people that are listening here.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Great. Bye.